Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or indeed good evening, depending on your time zone and depending on when you are watching this. It is Wednesday, the 12th of August, 2020, already halfway through most people's working week. I'm James Innes, and this is my YouTube show, The Jobs Guru. I'm delighted to see you here for today's episode. I extend a very warm welcome to all those who have subscribed since the last episode. And if you haven't yet subscribed, then please do think about subscribing so that you don't miss out on the next episode. In today's show, I'm going to be covering a question from one of my viewers, and next in the interview question series, I'll be asking, why haven't you achieved more in your career? Gosh, it's a little harsh, isn't it? If you have any questions or comments as you watch, then do please let me have them in the comment section below. And if you like what you see, then do please hit that YouTube thumbs up. So, onto that question from one of my viewers. Today's question has been sent in by Luke in Leeds. He says, "Dear James, I have recently left the army and I am not sure what to do now. I'm struggling with my CV and what roles to apply for. I'm very fit and active and enjoy teamwork. I think I would get bored behind a desk. But similarly, I left the army because I was tired of the grueling schedule. What areas should I be looking at? I'm also worried about starting from the bottom in a company when I'm used to being in charge of a team. What advice do you have for ex-military?" Well, Luke, in Leeds, you must immediately put any thoughts out of your head about possibly having to start from the bottom. No ex-military people with whom I have dealt have had to start from the bottom as if they had never worked before. Whilst not all employers are necessarily wise to the numerous advantages of hiring ex-military, there are certainly plenty that are, including, I know for a fact, some pretty big names with workforces of, 100,000 plus. You have so much to offer, a huge range of transferable skills, if only you realised it. Fortunately, most recruiters recognise that the ex-military are renowned for their discipline, their drive, their determination, their leadership abilities, and or their ability to function highly effectively in a team, and above all, for getting the job done. These are all sought-after qualities on CV Street. What areas should you be looking at? Well, a lot depends, of course, on what precisely you did whilst in the army, but have you considered the telecoms sector, telecommunications as an option? The construction industry, that's also a good choice. You really do have a lot of options available to you in many different fields. It's up to you to decide what would be the best fit for you as you embark on your new career. But really, the future is bright. When it comes to your CV, use your CV to highlight in particular the leadership skills that you've developed during your military career, and actively target roles that will enable you to make the best use of these. So I hope that answers your question. I'm always open to interesting new questions from my viewers. If you have a workplace, jobs, careers, or employment related question for me, then do please type it into that comment section below, and I may well feature it in a future episode of this show. And if I do, then one of my limited edition collector's item Jobs Guru coffee mugs will be yours. I know you want one. You know you want one. Now, as well as heading up James Innes Group, I'm also the UK's best-selling careers author, and amongst my titles is the Interview Question and Answer book. It is, of course, available in all good bookshops, but if you'd like a signed copy from yours truly, then there's a link in the description of this video. Each Wednesday, at the moment, I'm taking questions from that book and looking at how to answer them. Questions currently from the chapter I entitled The Top 25 Tough Questions Taking the Heat. Today's question: why haven't you achieved more in your career? Similar questions include, why haven't you achieved more in your current or last job? Back to the question in hand. Why haven't you achieved more in your career? This question is clearly a veiled criticism. It's a very clever question, actually, and it can quickly separate out the weaker candidates from the stronger ones. It's a tough question because the main aim of the question is to put you under pressure, under attack, to see how you handle it. As with other tough questions, the way you answer it is actually of more interest to the viewer than an actual explanation as to why you haven't achieved more, assuming you haven't. So how to answer? Well, don't let this question rattle you. Don't let the interviewer put you on the defensive. Don't take it personally. In most cases, you shouldn't fall into the trap of admitting that you feel you should have achieved more. Even Bill Gates will feel he should have achieved more in his career. It's human nature to feel you could have done better. You should instead spin this question around and throw it back at the interviewer as a statement of precisely what it is that you have achieved in your career and why you are proud of that, and rightly so. You should also express optimism for the future, I feel. If, on the other hand, you clearly could have achieved more in a career, then, you should attempt perhaps to cite some extenuating circumstances. That's inevitably going to be a weaker answer, but it's preferable to stubbornly insisting that there aren't any weaknesses in your career path when there blatantly are. It's even more important in this particular case to express your optimism for the future, to emphasise that you are now back on track and ready to make up for lost time. As usual, I have plucked a little example answer from my book for you. I'm actually very pleased with my career to date. As I've progressed from organisation to organisation, I've gained a great deal of practical experience and developed my abilities considerably. I've been responsible for a number of significant achievements. In my current role, I successfully drove down stock from 1.5 million to 800,000 in just 9 months, whilst maintaining lead times, consequently boosting working capital by 700k. I always strive to achieve my best, and that is definitely a factor in my now looking for a new job. I feel this vacancy would be a perfect next step for me because I know I can rise to the challenge and make a major contribution. So, quite nicely dodged there, in fact, basically. I'm currently updating this book, the Interview Question and Answer book. I'm working on a brand new edition. It's going to be the third edition of this particular book of mine. So if you have any interview questions which you think I should be considering for possible inclusion, do please let me know in the comments section below. And if I use your question, then obviously there will be a complimentary signed copy of that new edition for you. And I may even throw in a free interview coaching session with me, if you like, the man who literally wrote the book on interviews. Or of course, you can just pop along and book a session at jamesinnes.group. So now, we're not far from the end of today's show. I'll be back tomorrow, Thursday, for the final show of the week. Remember, this show is Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday each, and pretty much every week. Yes, even when I'm on holiday, which I actually am at the moment. Just 2 more things. First, I must squeeze in some routine but important requests. Do please check me out on social media. Connect, follow, or otherwise stalk me. But please don't troll me. If you have any questions or comments about this episode, about the show in general, about life, the universe, how to get chewing gum out of a carpet, whatever, then do please let me have them below in the comments section. That's me typing, by the way, it is, yeah. If you like this episode, then do please hit it with the YouTube thumbs up. Do think about subscribing and ringing that bell so that YouTube can notify you automatically of any new episodes. If you've already done all of that, well, obviously, thank you. Finally, what's happening in the next episode? In Thursday's show, I'm going to be looking at the week's workplace news. I do hope you'll tune in. Thank you for watching today. Keep safe and be well, my friends. Goodbye.